here, right?
Yeah.
Mitch, sit still. Come on, we're happily married.
That's nice to cute little like begin card. Is that the tile card will go on.
There you go.
Hi, welcome to 14 Dresses. Today, for our first episode, I thought it was appropriate to have the very first couple whose wedding I was in. I have Mitch and Irene Joy. They've been married for 19 years this past 19th of November. And they are here to share with us little things about their wedding day. And we also, they will speak about a traditional Greek custom that we have in the Orthodox ceremony. So, why don't you introduce yourselves? Tell us a little bit more about you.
Hi, I'm Irene Joy.
I'm Mitch Joy.
And I know them because Irene is my second cousin, and
Her favorite cousin.
yes. So I guess we'll do the typical questions. How did you all meet?
So we met, I guess, 21 years ago. Yeah, so 21 years ago we met. Actually before that, but I mean officially 21 years ago, through a friend who invited us both out to for a night of hanging out, and neither of us wanted to go, but we decided to go anyway, and we saw each other, and it was magic at that moment. It was quite special. And then from that on, we just knew, and it just blossomed from there on.
Okay. And so how did he propose to you?
He actually got on both knees in the snow at Great Falls.
For those of us who are not in from this area, it's a park on the C&O Canal. It was 3 feet of snow.
On New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
It was very romantic.
He wasn't taking any chances. He got that down both knees as opposed to the right knee, but it's worked out, right?
Very well. Yes, indeed.
So, so when you were planning your wedding, like what were the big hurdles when you were planning your wedding? Like what was stressful? What was
It's very stressful planning a wedding because you have a lot of people to consider and their feelings, and you don't want to leave anybody out. I have a big Greek family, and everybody's very involved, which is helpful, very helpful, but there's also a lot of opinions. And you want to take into consideration also his family and their feelings.
And by the way, they were not Greek. My family's not Greek.
So that did add some stress to the family.
So Mitch,
Dynamics,
yeah, that's actually a good segue. So Mitch, what was it like coming in? Not only just coming from from a different culture, but also from an entirely different religion as well. How was that? Like, how was your experience going from Jewish to Orthodox Christianity?
Well, luckily, in a lot of cases, kind of as a tabula rasa. So I wasn't raised. I was kind of a culturally Jewish family, not a religiously Jewish family. So for me, I came in not having any kind of religious background, but yearning for something that was religious and something that was meaningful. So Orthodoxy for me seemed the perfect fit, and the community embraced me fully. And the priest who became the bishop of our church was fantastic, Bishop George. He was fantastic and totally embraced me. And I had to learn a lot. I had to spend at least 6 months in education learning about the faith before I could, become baptized and before I could even marry. But I really enjoyed it, and it made sense to me. I've studied a lot of religions, and this is the one that seemed to make the most sense to me, and it really seemed to me that to flow with us, and so I really appreciate it. But it was definitely, it added a lot of stress because my family had no clue and they didn't understand what was going on. Why would you do that? They didn't understand that. So I think now they finally, after all these years, they've finally come to understand, appreciate it, and or I don't know if appreciate is the right word, but finally come to accept it is probably the best word, right? And they're okay with that now. And they finally realize that we are strong as a couple, and we are in love, and our faith has made us stronger.
Good. And what was your favorite part of the ceremony? If you had to pick, if there was anything very important about the ceremony.
Break dancing.
That was at the reception later on.
The whole ceremony is beautiful because it's one of our sacraments. So there are several parts that lead up and make up the whole entire ceremony. one of them, which we can talk about, are the crowns.
Mm-hmm. For today's tradition topic, we are actually going to look at the crowns that are typically used in the Orthodox marriage ceremony. Right here, actually, are my parents, and Mitch and Mary are very, very kind to bring theirs. And so, if you want to explain a little bit on the tradition.
In a Greek Orthodox ceremony, you are crowned king and queen for the day. The crowns are usually tied together with a ribbon, so you are united together as king and queen for the day. The priest will put them on the groom and the bride's heads as they start their journey in life together. There is a sponsor, which I guess would translate to best man, or it could be best woman, the kumbara, and what they would do.
Just keep going.
They cross their hands and they take the crowns and they cross them 3 times, joining the couple to symbolize their union together in Christ,
and also signifying their connection with love and through the church. And the nice thing about that too is it also signifies their connection together. And then there's those steps around the altar that we do, which I think was really cool too.
Right.
And then you do those really slowly, because if you do it too fast, of course the crowns get pulled off. But I think it's neat that I love that you go around the altar 3 times. And
it's your first,
for the Trinity, of course.
First steps.
And your first steps is husband and wife, and as king and queen of your own family. And I think that's neat.
And that's what we're seeing on the solea, which is, for those of you who don't know, that is actually the front part in front of the altar of the church. And so, because you're obviously not going back into the altar, that's only where clergy can go. And so I remember just standing in the solea with them and wanting very badly to hold the candles and walk around with them, because my parents actually, my parents actually were the ones that crowned them. And so I saw my parents, and I really wanted to kind of go and walk around with them, but I had to hang back with my little flower basket. And
you looked really cute.
Yeah, I was. I thought I thought I was really cool. I thought it was my first wedding, and I got to wear a really cute dress, and it was this really pretty navy blue, and it was it wasn't sleeveless, but it had some netting, so I thought I looked like like adult and grown up, even though I was about like 7, 8.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that's how I was. Yeah, and and how many people were inside your wedding? You guys had a big party.
We did. I think were there 22 in our bridal party?
I think so.
Yeah, gosh,
There was a lot.
yeah, that was a lot of people.
11 on each side,
I think.
not
Yeah.
including flower children.
No,
Any hippies? No.
Yeah, because it was myself and Irene.
No, those were your groups.
Yeah.
That's right. That's good.
Alright.
Yeah, your room's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember it was myself and my sister and Alex, and Alex was the junior
Right.
bridesmaid. She
Right,
wasn't.
she was older.
Yeah, because she was neither a bridesmaid or a flower girl, so she was
Right.
the junior bridesmaid. So I think that's
She
what
was a tween, I
She was
think.
a tween,
Right.
yeah. So that's what you have to do.
It's complicated.
I mean, it's little things. So
So
what were what were the must-haves? Like when you're planning your weddings, like because now it's the big thing is photo booths and having just games and everything at the wedding. Was there anything that was like back when you were getting married that was like the thing to do that was very very trendy?
well, as far as the ceremony itself, we wanted a ceremony that was traditional and that was true, and the Orthodox faith wouldn't have it any other way. That's what we like anyway. As far as the reception is concerned, the reception we wanted. I mean, we had music. We had both a traditional Greek band, and we also had an American band too. The Greek band proved to be more popular because it's a dancing band, and people got into the dance music. But besides that, we just wanted it to be kind of a party for everybody and have a good time, and it ended up being that way. I mean, people stayed there till 2 in the morning.
Yeah, I was so excited. I think it was the latest I had ever stayed up, not on New Year's Eve at that point. I remember just really I think we definitely closed down. We closed down the party.
Yeah.
Where
We
you guys
were gone.
left, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys
We left
gone.
We heard the stories. We were gone.
Yeah.
They had to go catch a plane to Hawaii.
Yeah,
Yes.
Honeymoon in Hawaii, which was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
We were the first reception in that reception hall, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
it was a really nice experience. And so many people. There was 320 people, give or take a few. 300 of hers and 20 of mine. My family's this big. And so it's Irene kept on saying to me, it's like, these are all your cousins, every single one of them.
Every single one.
And so it's nice to see everybody. And looking back at the pictures, we were like, oh yeah, every single person here is related now. And so when you see them nowadays, it's you have to say, of course, it's nice to see you again. Nice to see you again, even if you have no idea who they are.
Yeah, which is usually the case when you are in a huge family.
Right.
Because after a while, you start calling everyone auntie and uncle.
Yeah.
Right?
Someone will turn around.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
we're
going to-
like, oh, okay.
Did you guys have like specific colors? I mean, I know that we were in navy blue, and obviously the guys were in suits. But like, did you guys have a color scheme, or was it just kind of?
It just kind of came together. I think I fell in love with the bridesmaid's dress, and I always loved Lily's. But when I look back at my wedding pictures, it's blue and white, and now it looks so stereotypical Greek.
Yeah.
Now that I look at it,
Yeah.
but I don't think I planned it.
What was your
that way.
inspiration? The flag. The Greek flag, of course.
But I don't think I planned it that way. It just kind of happened.
Yeah, navy blue and white is.
It was nice. It
They're
was
nice
classic.
colors. I mean, it's just a very.
Yes, the lilies were white. It was kind of funny because the calla lilies were huge, and we didn't consider that. But because the stalks are like this thick,
Right.
and so when you're trying to make bouquets out of them, it's kind of
Oh, that's
difficult,
right. That's
yeah.
right. It's like a little basket, so I didn't
Right.
care. But I remember like Alex was trying to hold on to it
Yeah.
and had the ribbons.
Yeah.
You had to kind of do like this little cradle
Right.
move.
yeah,
And,
but we liked them. You
Yeah.
know. And then I think the blue was great.
Yeah.
It was classic looking, and the guys were all wearing classic tuxes too.
yeah. So it worked out.
Yeah.
So,
We're traditionalists that way, I think, in that case.
that's good. And then your first dance that was to Chances Are.
Chancer,
Yeah.
Johnny Mathis. And we took months of dance lessons.
Right.
We took months of classic dance lessons, not Greek dance lessons. These were other dance lessons. And then, of course, we got on the dance floor. We forgot them all within 5
Yes.
seconds.
Forgot
That was
everything.
a wonderful waste of.
Kind of danced in a circle.
That was fun though. We kind of just kind of held on each other because by that point we were so exhausted that
Yeah.
because the ceremony is long. It's a long ceremony.
It
It's a
is.
wonderful ceremony, but it is long, and we were exhausted, and we just got to hang out. And people they didn't care,
Yeah.
they didn't remember that part at all.
Right.
And we had fun, and they had fun, and everybody eventually joined in as well.
Yeah, I mean, usually a traditional wedding, it can clock anywhere between an hour, hour and a half, depending on amount of guests, depending on how, if the priest, talks for a long while. If you have, like in our family, we have a ton of priests, and so when you have a bunch of priests up there who want to marry you, they're going to definitely say, they look their piece, and it all adds up. But yeah, yours was about, I think, an hour, a little bit over an hour.
I think it was
The
longer
whole
than
thing,
that.
the whole thing itself. By the time we got into because of all the photos and everything, with all the
Right.
people, it was
Oh, yeah.
2 hours.
Oh yeah,
altogether.
no, yeah. Disregarding photos.
Yeah.
I remember. Oh my
Uh-huh.
gosh, I remember I was starving,
Mhm.
and I remember at one point you guys were all lining up to get back into the church to do your pictures, and I remember I just snuck because the reception hall was actually next to the church. I remember I actually snuck out for a second, grabbed some meatballs, and then ran back. I had a napkin. I was eating like I was, 8 and starving. And so it was a good wedding. We had a lot of fun. Yeah, I think everyone had it. That was definitely a memorable wedding.
Mhm.
So I was very happy to be a part of it.
Okay.
So thank you.
We're
Yeah.
happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when you chose your bridesmaids and you're like and your groomsmen, who was?
Darts.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That you did just have a rogues gallery, have all
That's
the
right.
Polaroids, and you just started tossing darts.
no, people who were special in our lives at that point in our life, and a lot of them still are, but some of them, it's just like how lives go. People fade away and come in and out.
That happens.
It does, absolutely. And some people fade in and out, and as I just said, and I think that's how it pretty much came. Who were important in our life at that point.
Right. And I mean, I had 3 brothers, and you're trying to match everybody up, and how many best friends do you have at the time, and how many, you have so many cousins, and how do you...
And not only are you the baby, but you're the only daughter in your
Right.
family. So
it was a big deal. And I was the
really
first
was.
to get married,
Yeah,
so it was a big
of that
deal.
batch of cousins, yeah.
Mhm.
So it really was a big Fat Creek wedding.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
weren't tacky.
No,
In
Yeah.
comparison to the movie, yes.
Right.
Yes. No offense to Nina Vardalos, but
Right.
yeah. But it was,
Right.
it really was a big Fat Creek wedding.
Yes.
An enjoyable big Fat Creek wedding. So, All right. Well, thank you very much for coming. I think that concludes the first episode of 14 Dresses, and I look forward to going down the journey with other couples, and we'll see the other 13 as the series keeps going, and who knows, the rate I'm going, there might be adding more in my closet. So, thank you again.
Hold on, I'm sure we're gonna win the trip to Hawaii. Thanks.
Yes.
Hey.